Hello, everyone. Um Hope you all are doing well. We are going to start the session soon. Let's wait for another 5 minutes.
Welcome to the session, everyone. Thank you for joining ahead of time and on time. We will be starting the session in the next 5 minutes while others join. If you have your friends and colleagues registered for this session, please ask them to join now. Thank you. Once again, thank you everyone for joining. We are still waiting for a few people more to join in, and then we will start the session. If you have any doubts, any questions, we have trainer right now also. He can answer right now. You can put it in chat or come off mute.
Sure. If anyone having any sort of doubt, then you can put on chat or you can just simply unmute and you can have a conversation. We will start our session in next 2 minutes. Okay, welcome everyone. Good evening to all of you. Okay, so how many count we have right now? It's okay, it's 33. Okay, so anyone like facing any kind of doubt or while completing the assignment, have you faced any kind of issue? Yes, no, maybe. Okay, okay, perfect. And how many of you have done the assignments which I asked you all to do the day before yesterday? Shekhar done, Hema done, Gangeshwar also done. Okay, 6, Lovepreet not yet. Okay, 7, 8. That's it, just 8, 9. Anita, Suryanshi, done. Great. I hope you all are like taking something, and I hope whatever I am trying to convey or the emotional thing which and the emotional perspective for which we think while designing anything, you are taking care of. Bhumika saying one is done and other one is pending. Bhumika. Okay. So then, yes, Bhumika. So you have like another today's Thursday, then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So you have 4 days of time, but surely I will give a very light sort of assignment after this session also, but surely you all gonna enjoy that. So okay, try to do it on a priority basis. Also, like one thing which I would like to suggest, suppose that today if I shared something and I asked you to do some sort of assignment, then try to attempt it like on the very next day. So what it will happen, no? The process of creation is once you will create something, then after what will happen? So once you will be having a some kind of gaze with your work, then after some time you will get uh, some of the feedback by your own automatically, because design is something which is very much inherent thing among us. So we know what the design is, we know what aesthetically looks better, that we will discuss today also. So it is something like try to do it on a priority basis. After doing that, just give a rest of 1 or 2 days. Automatically you will start gazing that, okay, so this is something which I can improve. It is very much similar, like suppose that you try to, or suppose that if you are planning to have a car, like suppose, just take a brand, Tata Nixon, just Tata Nixon in gray color. Okay, so you are just planning, and once you made the purchase, so after that what will happen, once you will be out on the road, no, then probably every other car will look like Tata Nixon only, with a gray color, the same color which you have brought just a day back or on the same day. Okay, so that's what happened with the design. So once you will create it, after that, whatever you will look, the whole perspective of gazing towards any content, any graphic will change automatically. Once you will start like having a look over the any advertisement, then automatically you will start doing the decodes, like what the target audience is, whom they are targeting, what the geographical location, what kind of vibe they are putting in, what income class they are targeting. Okay, so that's the beauty of artwork. Okay, well done, Bhavna. Okay, so let's start today's session. Today's session is going to be little intense, not literal intense, but intense means uh, in today's session you are going to have a look on the very basic things which makes anything look beautiful. Okay, or the way we gaze any particular thing. Okay, and let me just open the chat thing. Great, so we have like okay, 50 people around. So let's start today's thing. So today we are sitting on day 3, module 3, design principle, layout and composition. This is one of the very basic thing which makes anything interesting. Okay, which makes anything interesting. Just just a moment. Okay, so design principle, layout and composition. Okay, so throughout the session, if you are having any doubt, then you can put it on chat, or just say I'm not getting it, या समझ नहीं आ रहा, है ना, and I'll try to repeat that, those particular principles. Okay, the approach of today's session is very much clear. What you will notice is, once you will try to be minimalist, means आप जो भी काम कर रहे हो उसको आप बिल्कुल जितना उसमें छेड़खानी कम करोगे, ठीक है, उतना ज्यादा वो खूबसूरत होते जाएगा. ठीक है, सो डू नॉट ट्राई टू मेक मच मैनिपुलेशन एनीथिंग. ठीक है, जस्ट ट्राई टू make it very much like user friendly. So right now whatever we were like discussing in last 2 sessions, जो लास्ट 2 सेशन में हम लोग डिस्कस कर रहे थे, सो वी वर डिस्कसिंग हेवीली अबाउट फ्रॉम द ब्रांड पर्सपेक्टिव, राइट. तो अभी तक जो पिछले 2 सेशन में हम लोग बात कर रहे थे, हम लोग ब्रांड के हिसाब से हम लोग समझने की कोशिश कर रहे थे. बट in today's session we will have to gaze the thing from the audience perspective. आज हम क्या करेंगे, आज हमें वो ब्रांड वाली चीज थोड़ी सी किनारे रखनी है. ब्रांड माइंडसेट नहीं होगा हमारा. ओके, सो आवर माइंडसेट वुड बी from the user's perspective. ठीक है, suppose that if you are evidenting any kind of ad, graphic, the very nominal thing around your uh, in your surroundings. Suppose that abhi right now this is Zoom. Okay, on Zoom we are taking this workshop. Okay, and suddenly you will realize ki, okay, so this is not just a platform, where we are interacting. This platform actually it's better than the other platform. Why? Because for the stability, for the other feature, for the chat thing, for the sharing thing, from the perspective of quality, how easy it is to use. So just now the transcription of this overall session has started. Then we have the recording feature. Probably other also have those, but every brand try to think from the user's perspective. Okay, so what we should include in our thing to make it user friendly. Okay, so this is our roadmap today. So layout and composition is the very first thing. Then inclusive design and accessibility, that's the third thing which we will take care of. And the last one, that's how we will conclude today's session. Okay, so the very first thing is the composition. Okay, okay everyone, be ready. So we are going to have this very interesting session. So here, how many of you do photography? Photography, not professionally, I mean, you are the, if you are the photographer of your family, then it will also work. आपके घर में 5 लोग हैं, बट जब भी किसी के बर्थडे में फोटो खींचना होता है एट द टाइम ऑफ एनी सेलिब्रेशन, स्नैपचैट, ओके परफेक्ट परफेक्ट, तो अब घर के बड़े जो हैं आपको फोन दे देते हैं, दे यूज्ड टू गिव यू द फोन. Okay, so this guy actually clicked some great pictures in that way. Okay, so Nitin, Lovepreet, Ashita, Shekhar, Gangesh, Yeshwar. Okay, just 5 among 50. 6, just 5. हाँ ना, एनीथिंग विल वर्क. आप हाँ ना कुछ भी बोल सकते हो, वाई और एन भी चलेगा. ठीक है. हेमा, सुप्रिया. ओके, अंशुल नो, भूमिका नो. ग्रेट, ग्रेट. उत्तम यस, अभिनय यस. ओके, सो बेसिकली Mahinder yes, great, we have 15 total. Okay, okay, चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं. Let's proceed further. So basically why I'm asking this, because if you are already capturing the moment, then probably you know some of the basic thing. Okay, so our first priority is while buying any DSLR camera or buying any mobile phone, the very first thing which we try to have a look on the camera, and that's how the companies also price it more. The mobile phone is the very primary thing is the camera. जो सबसे ऊपर है वो है camera. ठीक है, we always look for the what camera quality it provides. Then we come to the processor and the how much RAM it is. If we know that probably we are getting the less RAM, less thing on iPhone, but still what we try to get an iPhone because we knew that Google Pixel, app, iPhone, and in today's time, Vivo is actually like capturing some of the beautiful pictures. Okay, so the very first thing is the camera, and most of the time, our perception is like if it is creating depth. Right now, also, if you will see that there is a blurry background, okay, in me, so it looks bit more cinematic to me, right? So that is the whole process of our consideration while going for the thing. But if you are clicking picture, if you are not clicking picture, then start doing that, because that gonna be your exercise also after this session. So the rule of composition, what make things beautiful, what make things pleasing to our eyes, and how exactly as a creator we derive the eye movement. Okay, so we direct our eye where you should go. Okay, and what you will focus on. Okay, so the very first thing, if we go with the, okay, is the composition. Okay, so what is composition? Concept, composition, aka the art of combining elements, okay, harmoniously. It means how well you are clipping everything together. ठीक है, आप कैसे सब चीज को एक जगह पे रख पा रहे हो. Aim to create a balanced and aesthetically pleasing design, focusing on relationship between elements and the overall unity of the piece. Okay, so what's the basic purposes of this composition? Evoking emotions in the audience, enhancing the visual storytelling, and create a cohesive message. Okay, so that is basically the overall crux of having a composition. Okay, but one thing we need to understand from the user's perspective, what are eyes. So it is very much similar like the color theory. Remember what we discussed in the color thing, that basically why red looks like that, why heart is always red, because that's how we perceive the thing. Because of our blood, that's why anger, rage, love, lust, so these kind of emotion derives from red. Okay, so if we go with the blue, then probably we are mixing it with the sky. So the kind of aesthetic or the kind of narrative which we are getting from the green, okay, then that green particular thing is basically that is deriving everything from the nature. Okay, so that's how our brain functions. So that's why just say yes or no. Any one of you, yes or no will work. Know about this term. इसके बारे में किसी को पता है ये क्या है? नो नो नो. Malde debarkment syndrome. Malde debarkment syndrome. Okay. No no no. Okay. Okay. अच्छा, किसी को नहीं पता है. नहीं नहीं, कुछ लोगों को पता है. किसको पता है यहाँ पे? नहीं, किसी को नहीं पता है. ओके. Anyone? No? Okay. Now, I'm just giving a clue. Okay? Then say yes or no. Now, is there anything clicked onto your mind? Just try to connect motion sickness. Very good, Prusha. Very good. Very good. You know, try to connect that syndrome. I just wanted you to like keep this into your memory. Okay, the syndrome and this image. Syndrome and this image. Titanic, Sanket is saying while traveling. Yes, yes, Ashrita. Okay, so what happens that motion sickness? Yes, so that is basically the general term which we use. Okay, and the syndrome is called what? Malde debarkment syndrome. Okay, so what happens that most of the time, yes, Mahinder, on ocean, so what happens like if you will have a travel, and that's why the people who are into the navy, merchant navy thing, no, so they need to get like settled. Okay, otherwise if you will like travel through ships for a longer period of time, in fact after 2 or 3 hours, okay, because your eyes is not been adjust into that matter, because we are not very much capable of observing thing that way. Because what you will find probably in the bigger ships also, like the Titanic, as Sanket said. Okay, so what happens, I suppose that in the bigger ships you have a whole room kind of thing is available, but your eyes is not being able to balance the things. Okay, because everything you will find it bit motion over there. So that's why motion sickness is a very apt term. Riding on swinging and if yes, yes, it happens. It happens. And yes, so so Hema, the thing is, no, that is basically the very prelim stage of it. Okay, that disbalance between our eyes happen, and because we live on the surface, right? So that's why it is very much difficult for us to adjust into that situation. Many a time it happens, like suppose that आप किसी मेले वगैरह में गए हो, इन सम ऑफ द mela sort of thing, and you are like enjoying any of the ride or the swing, whatever you can call, आप किसी भी झूले पे बैठे हो, then many people what they do now after after it, in fact the first thing is that fear, that disbalance, because we are not very much apt for gazing those things from that yes, cradle. Okay, so in that way, so what happens that so after 2 or 3 years in ships, what happens that the continuous delusion and the continuous movement create so much of stress in our brain कि एक टाइम के बाद क्या होता है कि हमें सर में ना दर्द होना शुरू हो जाता है. So after a point of time, what will happen, we will start observing a severe pain in our head. Okay, so that's the thing with this. Okay, so through that I just wanted to make you understand that whatever we are evidenting in the normal case of world, that has to be the very first approach of tweaking anything. Okay, so we should be like doing a very minimal adjustment in our setting to get the desired result, and that's how our eye flows. Okay, हम लोग जब भी कुछ पढ़ते हैं, while reading anything, just tell me what are the text orientation, whether it starts from left to right or right to left. I'm not talking about any specific or the real language. Most of the text left to right. Okay, so that's how basically exposure to motion such as foam. Yes. Okay, left to right. Very good. Very good, Bhavna, Uttam. Okay, so left to right is basically that is the most common thing, and that's how. So the text you are reading are basically the लिपीज. हिंदी में उसको जो स्क्रिप्ट जो हम कहते हैं, स्क्रिप्ट इज बेसिकली लिपि, यानी कि वो भाषा कैसे बनी है ना. तो ज्यादातर उसको राइट टू लेफ्ट भी कर सकते थे, but most of, because our eyes are trained in that way, so that's why left to right is the basic orientation and the direction of our eyes, right? So few things now we will discuss about the composition. Okay, so before moving to the composition, we kept few of the very basic and the raw thing clear, that why it happens and why we are discussing this. Okay, so there are many rules of composition, right? बहुत सारे ऐसे rules हैं composition के. But if you want your photos to be more like precise, clear, then in that case, what's going to happen is just a moment. Okay, so what happens that, so the rule of composition, so there are many rule of composition, but today we will be focusing on the five rule of compositions. Okay, one more thing, like if any one of you feels that, or you want, so rather than saying writing on the chat box, you can unmute and you can ask. Okay, so if you have any sort of questions. Okay, so the very first question is rule of third. So what rule of third says it? It's a composition technique that divides the image into like into the three part, from the top to bottom and from the left to right as well. तो आपका जो क्या हुआ, आपके जो photograph जो आपका composition है, that has been divided into three parts. Okay, so and in total we will be having 9 grid. ठीक है, तो कितने हो जाएंगे, 9 grid हो जाएंगे. So in the 9 grid, so it simply says that, like if you will keep it onto the point, like the very first picture, if you will notice that the sunflower which we are observing here are actually at the congestion point. Okay, so whatever, so it is basically a very basic and a very first step of composition. Okay, so whether you keep it on the right hand side, left hand side, whatever, but what it does is it leaves a certain space onto your image, and So automatically you will start having the focus, because what you did, you let the majority part of your image, you try to keep it empty. You are not putting any elements together. So that's why most of the time are what will happen is your eye will focus on that particular golden point. Is it clear? Rule of third is the rule of third clear? Okay.
So
Now
can you
let's move
explain
to
with
the
these examples? I mean, in these images which are there on the screen.
sure Anshu. So here अगर आप यहाँ पे देखोगे, here if you will notice, then the very first image which we have, where we have the grid available, the night grid available. Okay, so the congestion point, the point where two lines are intersecting. Okay, so those points are basically called to be the golden area. Okay, golden area means that those are the points where first our eyes uh, used to focus, or used to get comfortable in understanding any image, right? So in the very first thing we can experience that uh, so between 2 and 3, second and third grid, we have the sunflower. Okay, in the, if you will look on the second image where one teddy bear is there, okay, then again on the very first and second grid has been used, and between that we can observe one teddy bear over here. So automatically, because we are leaving majority of the frame blank, okay, so that's why on those golden points, if we will keep any of the object, then our eyes will get directed on those points only. Okay, so it is not necessary to be on the first or on the second or on the third grade where exactly it is lying. The what matters is those points where two lines are intersecting with each other. Yes, Anshul, you were trying to say something.
No, that's okay, sir. I got your point.
Oh, okay, sure. In the third image also, if you will notice, then actually two rules are combining there, but probably once we will go for the other rules, then we will be discussing more about that what else this image carries, the information it carries, and why it is looking more aesthetical than the other two. Okay, but one thing is very much clear here, that on the first and on the second grade, if we go uh, horizontally and vertically, then between first and second, on those golden points, the center of point is basically that one, and most of the area are being left blank. ठीक है, तो हमने क्या किया, हमने दो जगह पे हमारा जो आईज है, क्योंकि इट डाइवर्ट्स मोस्टली फ्रॉम लेफ्ट टू राइट, सो दैट्स व्हाई. एंड one more thing, यहाँ पे एक और चीज है, if you will try to notice, no, then in comparison to the first image, the other two image, the teddy bear and that leopard image, so the last two image are more comfortable for our eyes to have a direction, because on the very first image what's happening is we are navigating from left to right. So first our eyes navigates there, then we flow to the second and third grade. But here in the last two images, it is little more easier for the human eye to navigate. True. And because
So,
Nitin,
so,
uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
so the rule is that we need to keep the images on these golden points, right?
Yes, the golden point. So basically, these are the golden points where exactly things will look, or eyes will automatically get diverted. Okay, but again, there are some exceptions. Like if we go with the very first image, just a minute, the very first image here, then also, like if you are like noticing these all three grids, so probably if I am like taking a portrait, okay, then if I will keep the everything or my portrait or my character onto the center only, okay, but again what happens that because these grids actually creates a certain kind of structure, okay, not automatically in our brain, so that's why the character in a center also will look good, right? But in comparison to that, if you will keep it on a left or right, because the majority of the frame is blank, so that's why automatically our eyes get diverted over there. Is it clear, Anshul?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Nitin, yes, you are right. Basically, the basic concept is the same, which you are telling. Okay. Now, here is the second rule, which is the most important rule, I think. And it is actually very much easy for any individual to capture some good pictures. Okay. That is finding out the leading line. So leading line is basically what leading line does is leading lines again direct our eyes, our vision towards a particular object or the thing where we want to focus. लीडिंग लाइन क्या करता है, हमारी आंखों को एक रास्ता दिखाता है, ठीक है, और उस रास्ते से हमें जो एग्जैक्ट चीज जो हमें देखनी है वो हमें पता चलती है. Okay, so basically, so that's why here it is written, it is a visual path to direct the viewer's attention. So in the very first image, आप अगर पहले image में देखोगे, then here, because this image could have been like, now it's a decision of photographer. Okay, so the perspective, the image which he imagined, अगर वो बिल्कुल बीच सड़क पे रहता, because he is onto the footpath kind of zone, क्योंकि that image has been taken from there, so that is why now we have a very clear vision like where exactly. Now here we have many leading lines here, the path, the structure, everything actually diverting and on one particular point here on the very first image. On the second image, if you will notice, then the leading lines are the kind of separation, the barricade kind of thing which has been done, okay, with the wire. So that is basically the support elements, those elements are diverting. So we have multiple elements there in the second image, where we have the forest, mountain, and the barricade thing. Okay, so but here we have the multiple thing, we have the mountains, we can also the bluish kind of thing which is visible in the forest, we have the probably the water, and there it is a lush green image. Okay, but where exactly our eyes flows first, it flows on the barricade thing, okay, the separation which has been divided, so that's basically is diverting our eyes to go somewhere, and that's how the very first thing we will notice is that one. Then because that line goes to the blue thing, so that's why we will, the second thing we will notice is it is not like that that every time it will happen, but that's how our eyes and our brains are bound to function. And then we notice the background, in the background where we have the mountains. Okay, now you all need to tell is where the leading line is in the third image. You can simply unmute and say, anyone can raise the hand and do that. Yes, Anshul.
Is it the shadow which makes the leading line? It's the shadow ending.
Yes, yes, shadow. So there are actually multiple leading line. If you like, similarly like the first image, here also if you will notice, then the leading line is because the more area is been given to the mountain, okay, mountain and sky, so that's why that is also creating a kind of shades. Okay, so it is creating a line over there. But why shadow is more prominent? Yes, Nitin, you are correct. But why shadow is more prominent? Shadow ज़्यादा prominent क्यों है? Because there is a element of contrast also. Okay, so the very first image which we are evidencing from dark to light is the shadow. So that's why shadow is the leading line. Okay, so after shadow we are evidencing. So leading line is basically that structure or that shape which is basically directing our eyes to focus on particular thing. It is not necessary to focus on particular thing, but basically it navigates us. ठीक है, वो हमें उस तरह से वो ले जाता है. ठीक है. Now let's come to the first image. Here, if you will notice is, okay, in sunflower it is very much clear that okay, rule of third is pe fall kar raha hai, but there is no as such leading line. But here in practical, if you will see that in practical way the grid is been done, okay, in the very first image. But in the third image, if you will look at the shape of the leopard, okay, so that's also a kind of arc it is giving, right? But don't get confused. There is a possibility that in single image you may find multiple rules lying over there. ऐसा हो सकता है कि एक ही इमेज में आपको multiple चीज आपको दिखे, ऑब्जर्व करें, because it's an art, क्योंकि ये आर्ट है. So that's why there is a possibility that what through what gaze आप किस तरह से चीजों को देख पा रहे हो. What's your perspective? Any doubt till now? Yes, no, maybe? All clear? Okay, perfect. Now let's move, and this is the most simple, effective. If we call, if you ask me, no, to give a single idea. Okay, Lovepreet saying what? Sorry, if the object at center. Okay, then if the object in center, then also, what will happen is, suppose that is lying over the center, then probably again those structure, the golden rule, where the rule of third, it is not falling on the rule of third rule. ठीक है, वो rule of third पे नहीं जा रहा, but yes, it will create a symmetry. Okay, so it will create a symmetry, एक sync बनता है, and then वो भी आपका अच्छा लगे. That's another rule. Okay, so there are basically multiple rules, and all the rules are being made uh, from the user perspective. So that's why I said. So that's why I said that yes, it is important to how exactly we are gazing from the user perspective, how we are gazing any content. Now, if you want a very simple and effective formula, then this is the rule. Okay, no experience required, and definitely experience required in that, but still it is a most simplest way of creating your visual aesthetically strong. Okay, it says frame in frame, or somewhere या फिर कहीं कहीं आपको ये लिखा हुआ मिलेगा just frame. Okay, so frame in frame. So basically we are trying to make a frame. हम एक composition बनाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, but in that composition we already have one shape available. Okay, we have one frame available, right? So suppose that it is that simple that for example, like let what I have right now. Okay, so right now I have one folder with me. Okay, so if I click just the picture of it, ठीक है, अगर मैं इसका कोई एक पिक्चर लूंगा, है ना, और just imagine this phone in your screen. Just imagine, because there is a one frame, there is already a rectangular frame which we are observing and observing me, watching me. But because a very clear structure has been given to you, so that's why automatically it's give a set narrative to our brain ki okay, ठीक है, that's how the things has to be perceived. तो ये चीज ऐसे दिखनी चाहिए, and because it's a clear structure, so our brain is basically looking for the structure. So in the very first image, the images, so we are keeping it, so basically we are looking for one frame inside our frame. Here a girl is posing, or you can, she's dancing over there, and because the light is traveling from light to shadows, okay, so there is a strong light, so that's why a silhouette is there, but silhouette is not the concern here. Silhouette is, it doesn't matter, it can be a very simple thing, like just I have just, once I put my hands around my face, it is automatically creating a structure, so automatically your image will start looking lucrative. Okay, so here a circle sort of semicircle or a U shape we can observe. In our second image, it's a very simple thing, like uh, it's a passage, okay, but where our character present is, so that our character is basically into again in one frame, okay. And in the third image, it's a clear circle, so that's why we are evidenting a building through a circle. So if we are having any sort of shape available, the shape could be of anything. It is very much simple, like uh, semicircle, circle, polygonal, anything, rectangular, square, it can be anything. But if we will capture anything of that sort of, then it will be pleasing for our eyes, राइट। बहुत सिंपल है, आप इसको प्रैक्टिस करके देखना। एंड लेट्स, so the very first rule is rule of third, second is leading line, third one is frame in frame, and this is again, this rule is rule of odd. It means that, suppose that I'm just giving you an example, बस एक एग्जांपल मैं आपको देख रहा हूँ। सपोज आई हैव 100 of plastic ball available, okay, and the color of those plastic ball are basically red, okay. So among the all red, probably my eyes will not been able to identify like which red ball exactly I am observing, okay. But if I just put any of the different color, contrast in nature, or just pink, white, blue, anything, just suppose that I just kept a one white ball, then automatically our eyes will divert to that particular thing. So that's called rule of odd. वो क्या हुआ, हमारा हुआ rule of odd, यानी कि वो चीज जो कि आपको बिल्कुल odd दिख रही है, अलग दिख रही है। क्लियर है? So in the very first image, we have a dark shade, okay, dark shade, but so everything is basically into the dark, okay. Here a different shades of dark also, ठीक है। तो हम सब कुछ हमें किस में दिख रहा है, everything is evident in gray color, but the only thing where we are evidencing or evidencing any sort of color is the warmness in lamp, ठीक है। तो वो जो लैम्प है उसका जो वार्मनेस है वो क्या कर रहा है, दैट्स एक्चुअली गोइंग विद द रूल ऑफ ऑड। सो एनीथिंग व्हिच इज ऑड into a homogeneous thing, so that's where we will apply the rule of odd. Any of the idea which industry uses the most rule of odd? Any industry, like, now I'm just giving you the option: real estate, government schemes, food industry. Correct. Okay, so in food industry, what we do is, food industry, they, while doing the food photography, they try to keep their thing tempting, and also into the, they try to keep the color into the contrast. If they don't have, if they are not finding any contrast, then what they will do, they will try to develop some prop, they will put some prop around it. Sanket Singh, construction, business, advertising, new building. Yes, it can be done. In interior design, in not on every photo, but in food photography, what happens that food photography में होता क्या है ना, look, rule of art applies everywhere, in photography also, in designing also. ये हर जगह है। तो composition rule, the layout thing is the same across the every genre, every sort of work. But the important thing is, in food, what happens that we try to keep, if we want to highlight anything, no, so in food, like in every other photograph, probably you will see that one thing is looking odd. If it is not odd, then they will try to give very kind of symmetry, they will try to build with a different prop. In movies, very good, Nitin. In movies, the main protagonist, like जो background में dance कर रहे होंगे, the dancers who are into the background, probably they have a very similar kind of clothes, but you will try to give your protagonist a different costume so that they can outplay, our eyes goes more on them. Okay, I think in the first image and in the last image, very clear it is, because in the last image we have two umbrella, दो छाते हैं हमारे पास, those are of red color and one is of odd, एक blue है, so automatically our eyes are going on the blue one first. But what's odd in the second image, although it is easy but still, क्या odd है इसमें? No, flowers is there, but what is odd? Him are saying one fresh flower. Focus goes on the blooming one. Yes. Orange color on a dark PG. You are right, Ashita. Orange color on the dark PG. But again, the background is not that much dominating. So we will not consider that. One flower open and other one are not. Blooming flower, fresh flower. Okay. So absolutely correct. So basically, whatever the odd is, so our eyes will navigate to that thing. Okay. So one of the best picture of 2011 or 12 in some photography competition, and I was got very much amazed by evidenting what he captured. So the cap that image was of Jama Masjid. Jama Masjid ka ek image tha, and Jama Masjid, like most of you know, that it is in Delhi, and at the time of Azan, so after completing the namaz, not the Azan, the namaz, after completing that, one character, so everyone is bent, but one character is like finished it first, okay, little first, and he's just looking there, okay, where the cameraman is actually. So it's a like 500 crowd, everyone is like bent and doing the worship, but one person is like just bend his head and he is having a look at the camera that something is happening there, and that's how the rule of odd goes with the purpose, right? So you can imply it anywhere. You can create a composition, you can click pictures, and you can go to that. Okay, so now let's move to the next. Now this is symmetry and balance. Okay, symmetry and balance. So किसी ने कहा था, someone have said like, what if we keep the character on center? किसने कहा था? You can unmute and say like if you want, or you can type also, whatever you feel comfortable. Okay, Lovepreet said. Okay, so Lovepreet, that goes the symmetry thing. So basically, what we are trying to give a symmetry in the image. So like in the second image, what uh, we are trying to keep the symmetry. So both the things are there. You can build a symmetry, and sometimes you don't build a symmetry. ठीक है, आप कभी कभी सिमेट्री डेवलप करने की कोशिश करते हैं, लाइक एवरीथिंग इज स्ट्रक्चर्ड, ओके, एंड सम टाइम जस्ट टू मेक अ फोकस, sometime we try asymmetry also, means हम सिमेट्री को ब्रेक करने की भी कोशिश करते हैं. So the very first image जो आप सबसे पहला image देख रहे हो, so that's the uh, where the chess thing is there. So at there, if you will look at the background, then asymmetry is there. Okay, there is no symmetry. Okay, and asymmetry is there. But in the second image, everything is well composed, organized at center. And in asymmetry, what we do now, in asymmetry, actually, we try to give a structure. We try to divide our frame into the two parts. Okay, so suppose that just break the image into the two parts, and you will find that the left one and the right one, both are the balanced one. Okay, but here we try to do asymmetry, means we try to break the balance. हमने balance को तोड़ने की कोशिश की है. Clear? किसी को कुछ clear करना है? Anyone wants to clear anything? You can simply unmute or just put on chat, whatever you feel comfortable. Ashita, no. Okay, then let's move forward. So these are the 5 rules of composition. Now this is going to be your exercise also after this session. So what you need to do is you need to click 20 pictures, okay, and try to include at least one of the rule in, you need to like use all the 5, but in one picture try to use one of the rule among the all 5. So you need to use all 5 rules: rule of third, leading lines, frame in frame, rule of odd, symmetry, and balance. Okay, symmetry or asymmetry, whatever you say. Okay, now I just want one thing from you all. If you are, most of you probably is using mobile phone or login from your laptop also. So just pick your phone or just minimize it and just try to have a look on your phone, or just put on chat like what are the 3 apps you use the most. Just take 20 seconds of time or just give a guess. Just give a guess. Uttam saying ChatGPT, Instagram, WhatsApp. Durga Devi, not just one. You need to put 3. ठीक है, 3 देना पड़ेगा. Instagram, YouTube, WhatsApp. Arishita saying Hema, WhatsApp, Instagram, Gmail, GPT, Insta. Okay. दुर्गा देवी, अच्छा दुर्गा देवी वो इंस्टॉलमेंट पे बता रही हैं. ओके. YouTube, Snapchat, Instagram, WhatsApp, Snapchat. अच्छा, Wattpad or WhatsApp? I think Wattpad it is. अच्छा, Wattpad and WhatsApp both. Instagram, YouTube, ChatGPT. Devanshi saying Harshita, YouTube, Copilot. Okay, Snapchat, Instagram, GPT, LinkedIn, Mahendra and Sanket LinkedIn पे जा चुके हैं. Okay. Okay, Clash of Clan. Great. Every AI tool. Okay. Now, let me tell you mine. So this is the screenshot, and very honestly, like, no, whatever came on my like thing, I just took a screenshot and I uploaded it in this presentation. Monopost to servicing, monopost to Instagram, ChatGPT. Okay, so the idea is if you will look on the overall UI of your phone or on the laptop also, but in phones, what happens that on phone everything is very much evident, okay, and very much clean. Probably if you open the Instagram on your desktop and on the mobile phone, the kind of UI you will observe on your phone is entirely different, and the desktop one probably is not progressed that much, right? So that's the thing. And in nowadays every phone company is working hard with the UI. The more principle based, minimalist you are, it's going to be easy for the audience. uh, okay, one thing I just wanted to do, anyone can unmute and say also, and if you want then you can type it also. If you ask me for the mailing thing, then there are multiple platforms are available. And at one point of time in India, not like I'm not talking about the 20 years old thing, just 10 years back, just 10 years back, we had Gmail, we had Yahoo Mail, and we had Redis Mail, in.com, Ymail, AOL. So multiple platforms were there who were actually providing the mailing service. Opera Mini, Opera Mini, okay, Mahindra, did they have the abc@operamini.com providing that sort of service? I'm not sure about Mahindra. Okay, so the crux is there were many other platforms are available, but right now, if you will have a look, then like Gmail is the most popular one. At one point of time in India, people were creating, and Yahoo Mail was equally dominant. Okay, but the kind of masses it carries and the kind of user base which Gmail has, Yahoo still exists, but they do not have the active users that much. In fact, in India, I was reading a report. It says that in fact 99%, 99 point some point few percent people are there who are using the Gmail only. I don't know how much it is true, but that's true in my surrounding also. So can you just you can unmute and say, or you can put it on chat. What are the key features you think that Gmail has better in the form of email? I'm not talking about the Gmail as a whole. You can unmute and say also, like just raise your hand and you can unmute. What do you think goes best in the Gmail's favor? Promotions, okay. Devanshi is saying. Anyone else? Automatic sentence suggestion while typing. Okay. Okay, Hema. AI creating email as command. But later on, these things like added with the time. Yes, Krishna. User interface. It is clean. It is very clean. The only thing till now also, what initially bigger brand thought of, like people are coming to their platform just to log in the thing, then let's show some advertisement. Let's show them the offers, the news. So that was the whole idea. Okay, and that's how the different type of mailing platform emerged in 2007, 8 and 10 on that era. And what happened was, but the Gmail still had the only one feature. While if you will go to the gmail.com, the only one feature which they have is put your ID, password, and login, sign up, and forget password. That's it, nothing else. So that's why the minimalist approach, the interface, the clean thing, the contrast, the proximity, which we will discuss now, will come together. And then I will will still I will just show you the difference between the Yahoo and the Gmail. Okay, so that's the thing. So let's move forward. The layout. Okay, so what is layout? The arrangement and treatment of field. So not so just one thing. Try to remove from your mind the Gmail conversation here. So here we are talking about the overall the layout thing. Okay, so what is layout? Layout is basically the arrangement and treatment of field element on a page or screen. Suppose that right now, if I'm showing you a presentation, then also I try to take care of the layout thing. How? The very first thing, the heading. The second, the layout, my subheading. And I try to keep like there is a possibility that, or I had an option to put everything into the sentence. But what I preferred and was just put everything on pointers. Okay, and to give you a very clear crux idea what I exactly meant by the layout, so that's why I gave a graphic. but on that graphic I try to develop a contrast also. मैंने क्या कोशिश की, एक contrast भी develop करने की कोशिश की. So that's why I put my brand color with it. मैंने इसके साथ जो presentation का एक brand color है, I try to keep those colors in the background to highlight it. Okay. Also, I tried not to use any real image. Okay, not the real image. So I tried to I put here one just a illustrated version of the layout. Clear? So those are the points. Now, if you will look at the Zoom also, then you will see that everything's very minimalist. Okay, so your microphone, video, participants, chat, share, pause, and the thing which is active right now is showing green to me, which is chat, right? So that should be the approach of layout. For the layout thing, just refer any of the website which we will discuss in the coming slides. Okay, so for the layout, what we take care of, so this is actually very, very important. CARP, the very first thing which was important was our the rule of composition, and the second thing is CARP, layout and composition model, right? So what is CARP? CARP, so the very easy way to remember it, okay, CARP, okay, CARP, CARP. So contrast, alignment, repetition, and proximity. So what they are, let's discuss. And whole of the UI things relies on this particular thing only: contrast, alignment, repetition, and proximity. So first thing which we understood was the composition rule, and then now we are moving to the CARP to understand it better. Contrast. Okay, so here, because look, rule of odd is also there if we are discussing here with this example, the contrast. So one thing is actually a very much different. Okay, so rule of odd also implies over here, and because it is also giving a contrast. So contrast doesn't always mean with the color only. Okay, so suppose that here, if you will look at contrast और भी हो सकते हैं, there can be a text contrast. Okay, so I try to give a contrast with the headline. What headline is? Applying CARP to layout and composition. So that is my headline. To separate headline from the basic content, what I did, headline को मैंने थोड़ा सा बड़ा किया. I kept the font size bold and big, and in the body content I try to keep the font size small, and I have removed the bold things to build the contrast so that my eyes first goes with there. Then the second important thing is more important for me. Whatever the next thing important for me, my eye will navigate to that. Okay, so contrast, you can apply the contrast with the text, with the color, with the structure, anything. Highlight, italic, yes. So every these tools, no, bold, highlight, underline, italic. So every these tools are AI creating email as okay, thoda sa purana. Okay, sorry. So basically every these sort of the different structure to the text has been given to build a contrast. Okay, so that we can notice the change within the same context. Okay, so suppose that, so that's how we use while writing also. So suppose that if you are giving a layout or writing anything also, then what we do, that suppose that if I'm saying that Premchand, Munshi Premchand is a well-known writer from India, and he wrote his book Godan, है ना, उन्होंने गोदान लिखी. सो गोदान को मैं क्या करूंगा, आई विल ट्राई टू कीप इट बोल्ड और इटैलिक. मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम फॉर द नाउन थिंग what we do, we keep it italic to so that user can notice it better. Clear with the contrast? सबको clear है? I think you mean the contrast will be there but it depends, but it doesn't depends upon color, text, etc. It will be look like contrast for our eyes. No, what I meant is, Durga Devi, contrast can be done. Contrast is meant what? A similar thing, but we are putting it into a different way. Okay, similar thing, we are putting it in a different way so that our eyes and brain recognize these two elements as a separate identity. So it we can build a contrast with the color, with the text, with the bold italic thing, whatever, with the structure. हम किसी भी चीज से contrast build कर सकते हैं. Through any of these elements, designing an aesthetic element, we can build a contrast. Right? Suppose that if there is a person who is of 7 feet tall, कोई एक 7 feet tall है. Okay, now because the other person is to build a contrast, I now suppose that there are two people out there. ठीक है, दो लोग खड़े हैं. From the scratch, I'm just giving you an example. One is 5'6", one is 6. Okay, one is 5 feet 6 inch, and another one is 6 feet. Okay, so now it is very much difficult and not prominent enough to understand कि कौन सा बड़ा है, कौन सा छोटा है, and who is actually the taller. Probably right now I'm giving you right now the exact number, so that's why it is easy for you to decode. Okay, but to build a contrast, if I have to like putting any character or caricature or making any design, if I need or if I want to make it look like more prominent, then probably one person is of 5'6". If I compare it or put into in my frame one person of 7 feet inch, then probably I will try to create, or I'm trying to create a better contrast with the structure, with the size, with the image, with the color. So it can be through anything. I hope, Durga Devi, it is clear now. Okay, okay, perfect, perfect. Okay, now the next thing is alignment. Alignment means how basically we are aligning the things together. Okay, again, the more structure it is or more disoriented it is, it more depends on the kind of feel, the kind of aesthetic what we are looking at. हम चीजों को कैसे देख रहे हैं. Okay, so the more structured it is, more pleasing it will look and will be easy for our eyes. It doesn't means that इसका मतलब ये नहीं है everything has to be put into a structured way. Not at all. Sometime deliberately, कई बार जानबूझकर we try to disorient the thing. It is very much similar like the asymmetry. It is very much similar like the first image, the chest thing. Okay, so deliberately here it is been structured in that way, right? So alignment doesn't means that it has to be aesthetically perfect always. It depends on from the point of view of an artist, from the point of view of a designer. If they wants to put if they want something to be to look very awkward so that people can notice it. Okay, sometimes we try to create some awkward graphic, awkward kind of design so that people can notice it. So that's why many of the singer who are actually not a very good singer, okay, they're actually a very very bad singer because there is no rhythm, there is nothing, but still they get like they get the popularity, they get the views because people have not heard about it, and that's how they are getting the attention. So whatever like works, so sometimes we say that no, every sort of promotion, every sort of visibility for a brand is good, whether it is bad or good. Okay, so, but at least it is coming to the people eyes. So it depends on you what kind of marketing strategy, design aesthetic you are going for. For example, here the very good example of contrast is there. Okay, so here we are evidencing three plants. Okay, pro, plus, standard, and basics, but it was put into in a that way. Okay, so size actually defines like how much one person needs to pay, so that's how the size has been kept here. But apart from that, if you will have a look, then you will see is here that one particular, the plus plan is been put into a very different color. So rule of odd is also going here. And another thing which we are focusing is that's the contrast. So automatically our eye navigates to the plus plan. Similarly, here this is the good example of alignment. If you will look at the very first image here also, then still there is a pattern of alignment is there. Everything is perfectly aligned here, but here it is very much evident, right? So what we are evidencing here, that the alignment thing, okay, a monthly box of beauty personalized for you, okay. And so alignment, in alignment, so we see a very clear banner, and under that banner we have three options, okay. So that's how the alignment thing works. I hope, because look, it is a very very normal sort of experience which we experience on a daily basis. So it is not a very unique kind of concept. The unique kind of concept whatever we discussed in the early slide, that I try to give like more emphasis on that. These are the very normal thing. It's just that we need to be alert that yes, okay, alignment is good or not, okay, contrast is there or not, okay. So these are the very common thing which we are evidencing everywhere. Okay, let's move forward. Here, the reputation means how often a certain style, certain structure, certain font we are repeating. So that's how, suppose that if I'm putting a serif font, sans serif font, whatever you feel that is required. Okay, so once I used monospace, suppose monospace for my heading, then if I have used the monospace, अगर मैंने monospace use किया है, then it is very much important that I should give a space to monospace every time whenever I put heading. Because once my brain signals it very much clear, okay, the headline will be onto the monospace or the script, then our brain is basically expecting the other headlines also on the same parameter. Okay, and so we will try to discuss the that reputation with the example, but let's jump to the proximity here. Proximity is basically how much white space you are giving. White doesn't means the exact white, it is basically how much space you are giving between two things, ओके. सो बिटवीन टू ऑब्जेक्ट्स आप दो चीजों के बीच में स्पेस कितना दे रहे हो. सो द बेटर स्पेस, बेटर कॉन्साइज स्पेस यू विल गिव, ऑटोमेटिकली those two contexts will get clear for the audience. लोगों के लिए थोड़ा सा क्लियर हो जाएगा टू अंडरस्टैंड, ओके ये बात अब खत्म हो गई, नाउ दिस कॉन्वर्सेशन इज ओवर, नाउ द राइटर और द रीडर और एज अ ब्रांड वी नीड टू पुट अ सेकंड पीस ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन आउट देयर. Okay, so here we have a very good use of reputation. If you will look here, then women who rule the screen. Okay, so that is basically our headline. So the same font, same size, same everything is been repeated again and again to match our visual aesthetics. हमारे visual aesthetics को match करने के लिए to signal our brain on the same way every time. So that's why we use the same font, same size, everything. For the content thing also, जहाँ पे हमारी films या फिर content वहाँ पे दिए हुए हैं, like the first one is Hairspray, then Kill Bill. Okay, on the same structure, same pattern, the every other boxes are been made, okay, to build a reputation thing. Is it clear to everyone? If it is not, then please unmute and you can say, or please, I'm just giving a 30-second of time, or just put it on chat. Done. Okay. Okay. Now this is the example of proximity. So probably all these things are clear to you, like ये सारी चीजें आप लोगों को ज्यादा clear हो गई होंगी अच्छे से. The first few, like what is layout, a CARP model, contrast, alignment, and repetition. So those things are actually very much easy. Now we will try to navigate through some example also for them. So this is the example of contrast. This is the example of contrast. So one thing we try to highlight it. This is the example of your alignment. So how well our things are structured and aligned. Okay, then we have the repetition and proximity. So proximity, I'm believing that probably still you must have some sort of doubt on the proximity. Proximity. So for that, we will try to deep dive with some examples for the proximity thing. Here we have a very clear example. Okay, like therapy, teen therapy, couple therapy. Okay, and so that's how the four different things are being done. So in this particular design, what type of services you are looking for? You are looking for. So if you will go with this UI thing, user interface thing of any app, then you will notice this. So the very first thing, the headline. Okay, and we try to build a contrast with the text. हमने क्या किया, text के साथ एक contrast build करने की कोशिश की. So the text is Talkspace offer comprehensive options to meet all your mental health need. ठीक है, वो चीज हमें दिख रही है कि okay, so this is the headline, this is basically the crux that has been put in that way. Okay, now if you will look at the spacing, so adequate spacing between the heading, subheading, and the category, the therapy, teen therapy, couple therapy, and psychotherapy, psychiatry. So in all these four tabs, we have a very convincing space is there. Convincing space, when I'm saying it, then it doesn't means that it has to be like in like more or less. Convincing means whatever is required, whatever is pleasing to our eyes, whatever will look aesthetic on over phone. Okay, so that's how it should be. So the idea of asking about your mobile app, what app you use, no, try to read the logo, like Instagram, YouTube, chat GPT, Snapchat, whatever, Wattpad, whatever you use. Okay, just try to read how exactly that logo has been crafted, how exactly the UI is, why exactly the WhatsApp. Okay, other features are there, but WhatsApp, Instagram, YouTube, uh, in these application, what exactly they are doing which other are not doing. Probably you will find a very simple layout sort of thing. Okay, you are find there the contrast, alignment, repetition, and proximity. Okay, that is very much user friendly. Okay, so that's the reason. Here, the final thought on CRAP, foundation of design it is. Okay, so the very first, you can say, step of design is that is CARP. Okay, and integration of the with AI tool. So basically these are the things that how exactly we can use Adobe for these tools to design, which for that we will use Adobe Express. Okay, to create a UI also that you can do over there. And consistent application applies CARP for wireframe to high fidelity design. Okay, so basically wherever you are evidenting anything, no, so that has been put in that way, CARP is are been applied. Okay, but before that, before CARP, because CARP is something which we are evidenting already. Okay, so, but the composition thing we need to understand it bit more so that we have a better judgment over the different graphics. Okay, now, so from here, now CARP, contrast, alignment, repetition, and proximity. So where one or two, you just need to give one or two. That's it, one or two. Everyone, CARP model, like we have two graphics. One is for the yoga for beginner, and second one is for the delicious pizza. So where exactly you can find CARP model more relevant, more prominent in your design? Devanshi saying 2, Nitin saying 2, Bhavna 1, Tanisha Mehta 2, Bhumika 2, Mandeep 1, Uttam Solanki 2, Supriya 1, Durga Devi 2, Shekhar 1, Hema 1. Okay, both. Actually, uh, okay, let's go for the second image. Then I will try to. But I just received 20 around. What about the others? What you feel? One or two? Look, one thing I just wanted to clear is there is nothing wrong or right here. I will try to explain. But what you are feeling, one or two, both, one or two, whatever you feel, just put here for everyone. CARP means contrast, alignment, repetition, and proximity. आपको किस पे दिख रहा है ज्यादा? In the first one or in the second one? Good, Anita, Harshit, Lovepreet. Yes, yes. One. Still 20. Abhinay. Yes. Quickly, just 10 seconds more, then I will go to the next slide. Again, we will be having few more designs to understand what is what. And it's already 5:23. So I just wanted to finish this interactive exercise. Abhinay, anyone else? No? Should we move to the next one? Okay. Now, where? One or two? One or two? One. Okay. One, two. Uttam saying two. Who else? 2, 5, 6. Yes. Bhavna. And who else? One. Both. Very good. Just 10 seconds more. Then we will move to the last example. One. Very good. Mandeep, 1, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.5, 1. Okay. Now the next. Yes. One or two. Where exactly we have? Two. Two. Mhm. Yes. Perfect. Anyone else? Last 10 seconds. Anyone else? Both. Okay. Mhm. Two is more clearly delivering the message. Okay. Okay. Not the break time. Wait. Let me explain. Actually, I was getting the kind of reaction which I wanted. Anshul, have you? Anshul is there? Anshul? Yes, no? Okay, not there, I think. Okay, so basically, this is the kind of reaction I wanted. So it was there. Like in both the images, somewhere, some sort of, there is no any clear CARP yes or no, like in one or two. If you will look at the first one, for the very first example, in the first option, we have a very aesthetically made uh, poster. Okay. So here we have our eyes are basically navigating it very well. Okay. Yoga, the very first word where we want. Okay. So yoga in the graphics, we used one image here. Yoga, after yoga, automatically your eyes will navigate for then beginner. Okay. So as per the importance of text, it has been done. Okay. Then the proximity is better in comparison to the सेकेंड इमेज, ठीक है, दूसरे इमेज से प्रॉक्सिमिटी इसमें हमारी थोड़ी सी बेहतर है, ओके, बिकॉज वी हैव गिवन इनफ स्पेसिंग टू सेपरेट दोज मैसेजेस, okay. Saturday 9 a.m. Riverfort studio. In the second image, what we are evidenting is uh, here we have the delicious pizza. We are using a graphic, so these two options are good, okay. We have the yellow background. Now open, so basically contrast is there, okay. CARP, contrast, alignment, repetition, and proximity. So what is missing in the second image? The very first thing which is missing is alignment. Alignment वहां पे नहीं है, ठीक है. Then CARP, repetition is also missing. Here, the same font with the contrast has been used in the yoga thing. But here, that particular thing is missing, right? And proximity is clearly not there in the second option. I hope everyone is reading these two illustrations with me. Is it clear? Is it clear? Okay. Now, here you are invited to a summer party, August 20 at, so here actually again, the contrast thing is available in the second option, but in the first one, the contrast is actually missing. The only contrast which we can evidence is the summer party. Okay, that's it. But apart from that, the contrast is actually not available, not from the font. Yes, the only changes which I can see is like the summer party has been written in small letter. Sir, why the most of them choosing two in the first question? Because most of them are choosing you because the contrast is very much evident here. Okay, the contrast is very much evident and the readability of text is there. So that's why it is giving a very confused kind of feeling. Okay, so but we need to understand how CARP thing is are basically we need to read how exactly we need to read each and everything. So that's the reason. Okay, so here also the contrast is there, but proximity, alignment, and repetition is not there. Repetition somewhere in the second option, repetition is there, like you are to a August 20. Okay, so there the repetition is, but apart from that, for the contrast thing also, na, they use three color, in fact, four colors. Okay, and so the chances of getting repeat having the repetition is very low in the second option. Okay, so there basically the second option is lacking. But the most confusing thing is the last one. जो आपका last वाला है वो सबसे ज्यादा confusing है यहाँ पे. Why? Because through alignment thing, both of them are actually good. Okay, for the contrast thing, first again in the first one the contrast is missing. Okay, for the alignment thing, both of them are aligned. For the repetition thing, repetition is also there in both the image. Okay, but if we talk about the proximity, then proximity is available in the first person, graphic, right? So there is no any clear yes or why in all the three image. What I wanted you to just brainstorm little bit more, okay, and then try to read the thing rather than saying, rather playing KBC, what option is the best. I just wanted you, like, from the next time, try to read the visuals, right? I hope it is clear to everyone. Just put yes, no, or if you want more clarification, then I can give. If it is clear to everyone, then we will proceed for the quick break. Okay, great, great. Perfect. Okay, then it's a break time now. let's move to the break. And after the break, after the 15-minute of break, we will start again.
We will have Kahoot, guys, after the break, so come back soon. I hope everyone is back from break. So we will have Kahoot playing now. The link is already shared in the chat box. I request each one of you to join this Kahoot. It's gonna be really interesting. Great. We'll wait for some more time. Let each one of you participate. You'll be having each question, you will be having 20 seconds to answer. The more quicker you answer, the more points you'll be receiving, guys. So make sure that you're giving a tough competition and try to answer all the questions very quickly. Link is already shared in the chat box. Make sure that you're joining this Kahoot and the winner will be receiving interesting gifts. We'll wait for a minute more. We'll wait for a few more seconds. Come on, guys, quickly join. It's going to be very interesting. Let's give a tough competition to each other. Okay, so we'll start the Kahoot now. Here come the first question. What is primary goal of the Creative Skills Academy? And the options are: teach advanced programming techniques, replace traditional design methods, help participants streamline workflows using AI tools, eliminate the need for design principles. The more quicker you answer, the more points you'll be getting. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. Okay. And the right answer is help participants streamline workflows using AI tools. Let's see who has scored good for this. Okay, we have Devanshi. Good play, Devanshi. Followed by Gangeshwar, Hema, Neeraj, Shekhar. Okay, let's move to our next question. Which of the following is not a core course theme? AI is with us, not in place of us. Leave your mark. Avoid using community tools. Be resourceful and use the community of practice. Come on, guys, be quicker. We still need 6 answers more. 3 seconds left. Okay. And the right answer is be resourceful and use the community of practice. Let's go to the leaderboard now. Okay, great. We have a new name. It is very interesting to see new names coming. Supriya, great play, Supriya, followed by Priyanshu. Let's move to our next question. Why is typography important in digital design? It helps fill spaces in layouts. It improves SEO rankings. It shapes perception, readability, and user experience. It replaces color in branding. Okay. 8 seconds more. Okay, the right answer is it shapes perception, readability, and user experience. Let's move to the leaderboard now. Again, we have Supriya. Great play, Supriya, followed by Devanshi. Good going, guys. Let's move to our next question. Which of the following contributes to strong readability in design? Using only uppercase letters, high contrast between text and background, using multiple fonts in every paragraph, avoiding white spaces. Let's give a tough competition, guys. Make sure that like every time we have a new name coming up in the leaderboard. And the right answer is high contrast between text and background. Let's move to the leaderboard now. Okay, we have Supriya again. Good, Supriya. And followed by Shekhar. Very good, Shekhar. Let's move to our next question. What is the 60-30 rule in design? 60-30-10. So time split in project phases, font size ratio for headings, proportion of primary, secondary, and accent colors, budget allocation guideline. And our right answer is proportion of primary, secondary, and accent colors. Let's move to the leaderboard now. We again have Supriya. Great going, Supriya, followed by Shekhar. Good, guys. And all the participants, make sure that you're giving a tough competition to these. Next question. What font type is typically used in public systems like NYC subways for clarity? Pacifico, Comic Sans, Helvetica, Times New Roman. Be quick, guys. The more quicker, the more points. Remember that. You will also receive, the winner will also receive a surprise gift also. So the right answer is Helvetica. So let's move and see the leaderboard now. Okay, this time we have Shekhar. Good job, good place, Shekhar. We have Sanket also here, followed by Shekhar. So let's move to our next question now. This is the second last question. Which tool is suggested for checking color contrast and accessibility? Adobe Bridge, Discord, Canva, WebAIM. Come on, guys. Make sure you're giving it quickly and accurately. Okay. And the right answer is WebAIM. Many has selected wrong for this. Fine, let's move and check the leaderboard. We have Shekhar. Good job, Shekhar. Great play. Followed by Supriya. Lavpreet, Hema, Gangeshwar. Give a tough competition. So let's move to our last question. What does the term bring it home refer to in the module structure? Ending the class early, assigning homework, summarizing key takeaways and applying knowledge, sharing personal workspaces. This is the last question, guys. Okay, and the right answer is summarizing key takeaways and applying knowledge. Let's go to the podium now. On third place, we have Hema. Good job, Hema. On second, we have Supriya. Very good, Supriya. And our winner is Shekhar. Very good, Shekhar. Congratulations. And for all the participants who just participated, runner-ups, everybody, congratulations for participating this. Shekhar, you'll also receive a surprise gift from us. Thank you so much, guys, for participating. Attendance link is also shared in the chat box. I request each one of you to mark your attendance as well. Over to you, Mishra, now.
Thank you. Welcome, everyone. Welcome back, everyone. Okay, so now there is a actually I wanted to take someone on mic. So how many of you just raise your hand, can unmute and speak, because there is one exercise where I will share my screen and you need to decode. How many of you, you can thumbs up? Okay, Shekhar. Great. Gangeshwar. Okay. So Shekhar followed by, okay, Gangeshwar followed by Shekhar. Arpit. Great. Okay. So now, there is nothing wrong or right. You just need to read the layout. I'll share my screen now. Okay, so let's start with Shekhar. Shekhar, please unmute yourself.
Hello.
Yes, Shekhar. Shekhar, I'll just share my screen and you need to do a couple of things here. I hope my screen is visible to you.
It is.
Okay. Just from the CARP model, uh, just try to navigate me through this website. Okay, and try to tell what is what and how it has been done. Just try to read it from your whatever the knowledge, whatever your understanding is. No judgment at all. कोई judgment नहीं
Okay.
है, अपने हिसाब से आप बताइए.
Okay. If I remove the advertisement part, because that will change upon the advertisement, just upon the website interface, the contrast part would be the violet and white contrast, the violet of Yahoo and the white of the background. So that would be the contrast. The alignment, I think, is very poor because of the placement of advertisements. Whenever I am opening this particular website, it is the alignment will distort based on the size of the advertisement. Right now, at the moment, the alignment looks good, but if the size of the advertisement changes, the alignment would change. The same
Okay.
goes for repetition, because each advertisement's text font would not be permanent. It would change upon the advertisement. So right now it is an okayish repetition format, and proximity is good in this particular instance.
Okay, great, Shekhar, and thank you so much for participating. Now you can mute yourself, and now I'll request Gangeshwar to unmute. हेलो गंगेश्वर, आपको आवाज आ रही है मेरी? अच्छा, मुझे जरा आप बताइए, जस्ट टेल मी, नेविगेट मी फॉर दिस वेबसाइट, व्हाट इज गुड, व्हाट इज बैड, व्हाट आर द की फीचर्स?
Having the color contrast, because like it has a vibrant contrast and the background is white, which complements each other. Previously it looks a bit like boring, right? Because nothing goes around it. And, but yeah,
Okay,
that's
okay, okay. You can mute, and after that, Shekhar and Gangeshwar, we have Arpit. Arpit, kindly unmute yourself.
Hello.
Hi, Arpit. So actually, Gangeshwar, what happened was while you were speaking now, so probably from my end it is. I don't think from my end your voice is not very much audible. Probably because of the network issue. Okay, so Ankit, just Arpit, just tell me the this layout about. Just define what do you think about this UI.
It's a basically Google's search engine UI. In this
Mhm.
UI, Google software developers use a white screen in the background for
Mhm.
making us it simple. And in that background, the font is used. I think it is Robo font for
The
Robo font
background,
style.
which one? The Google
Google's
thing
font.
or
Google's font
Google
is. I think it is
font?
Robo
Okay.
font. And Google's color, which that is used, is spiky colors. I I
Mhm.
mean, it is making more contrast over the white background,
Mhm.
and it's a very simple UI that a
Okay, very
user can
simple.
easily understand.
Okay, okay, great. You can, thank you so much. You can just mute yourself. And who's next? After Arpit, we have, I think, yes, Anshul, please unmute yourself.
So Shashank, I think it's a very minimalistic design, as which you told in this particular session. On the white background, the Google logo is very apparent, and I mean, it's not a very stuffy kind of a page, right? Things have been mentioned at the right places, and those have been minimalistic, like the Google logo. And I think the search bar should be more apparent. It should be
Mhm.
more visible so that the customer can enter the details because it's a search engine. I think that is it. The good
Which
part is that
family font it is? The Google text, which is prominent here. Which family font it belongs to? Any idea? Rough guesses will work.
is it sans serif?
It is sans serif.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much, Anshul, for your input. Anyone else? Just raise your hand. Okay. Then let's now compare the. Right now, I have three websites with me. One is Google. Okay. The another one which we discussed is the Yahoo and BBC. Okay, so this is the first website which we refer to. So now this is the key factor, the key difference we can evidently observe in this UI, that suppose that if I'm a user, then right now actually yahoo.com have took a shape that it will be a one and all platform, one and all page for me, and I can divert for my product and services to the other domains. Like now they have a separate page for the email and all, but previously what they do was very similar kind of thing. And majorly, if you have to log in, then you just need to come on the yahoo.com or yahoo.in and you can log in. Okay. And there are multiple things are there. First thing is advertisement. Okay. They are having the advertisement because Lotto family, Durga Devi, Lotto is a font, not the font, basically family, Durga Devi, right? So Lotto, yes, Lotto comes under the sensor. I hope it is clear. Okay. Okay. So, so they were having a Q&A, the Google answer also, mail also, everything is there. But from the very beginning, what I'm observing is the Google is the same. Their google.com is dedicated for the search thing. Gmail.com, if I go to the gmail.com, then hardly I will find anything else. So that is why our navigation of our eyes is very much clear. Okay, so one is the Google logo, so which is prominent because that's a branding thing, and we have a clear, very clear search form. For the reputation, now decode the CARP model here. For the CARP thing, the first thing is the contrast. So the contrast, definitely we have the white. Always remember that we don't put like very clear white thing in our background. Okay, so it is a bit of off-white kind of a flare we try to give, because the pure white is actually very much rich in the light. So that's why we try to give a little warmness to the background. So that has been given, and in the contrast we can evidence the logo here. So that thing is clear. So contrast is there. Now CA, the for the alignment thing, the alignment is again very centered, structured in that way. Okay, to build a symmetry, so this Google search and I'm feeling lucky, that has been very equally distributed. Okay, CARP. For the reputation, what they did, if you will look at the about, the very first left hand top, about size, store, and here Google search, I am feeling lucky. So the same font, same size has been used here, because now it is asking you to navigate through the Gmail. Here again, the same font is there, images, and here also they have not. So there were chances, like probably na, if there is any beginner designer or a graphic maker, then probably they will just open, okay. So the basic question एक क्या होता है इंसान का जो सबसे easy रहता है, the very first instant or the very first idea which comes to our mind, okay, we have a very much empty spaces there, so let put the other logos, but it is not there. They are very much particular about what they want from this page. They want from this page is to, so that people can go and enter the text and they can get the results. So that is the basic idea, and they are stick to it. So that's why one icon is there. After that, we are noticing, okay, so we have 12 more apps are there which we can log in on the very fun thing. And if we will scroll it, then again there are many apps and the websites are available through this particular page. It can be navigated to the other page. So that thing is there. Okay, so it is a very clean design and offered in, so basically a USP. So again, a contrast has been made with a hyperlink. So it is a notion of a human being, and that's how the things are being progressed from the beginning of the internet with the concept of hyperlink. So that's why we have the hyperlink here in the blue. But if we look at the font, then again, font size is different, but the same font has been repeated here as well, right? So, and the last one is the proximity, just to have a very clear distinguish. If you want to distinguish between all the things, all the elements in this page, so we have a very clear spacing out there. I hope now we are into a better position to navigate. Okay, same thing here. We have someone is on unmute. Mohit, I hope I'm audible to you. Okay, thank you so much, Mohit. Thank you so much. Okay, so here again, if you will look at the BBC website, then the contrast is been developed with the red, white, and black. So these three color are being used here. Okay, proximity is very much clean, that they are giving a center stage to the image, their main breaking news thing. Okay, and there is a very equal distribution, spacing is there for the proximity. And to have the contrast, okay, so the live button is been prominently mentioned over here. Okay, but if you will know, just to build the reputation, okay, so the black color is been used everywhere rather than going for any other color. So they are very much clear that, okay, so BBC, although the core color of BBC is what their color is. Okay, let me ask, not to tell everyone. Okay, what the BBC color is in their logo? Red and white, Gangeshwar. Very good. Right. So although they can use that one, okay, but again, the prominency, the navigation will be bit more difficult in that case. But with this particular idea of having black over the white, over the off-white background, it looks very much clean because of the repetitive color in nature, and it builds a consistency, right? So repetition helps in building the consistency, right? So for the contrast, they have very basic off-white, black over off-white for the contrast. For the repetition, black color is been used, and for the alignment that we discussed, okay, and followed by the proximity, right? So same font has been used in the headline में भी same font है यहाँ पे, और यहाँ पे भी same font है, ठीक है? Again, they're not the same font. Basically, it's a mixture of serif and sans serif. Yes, if you will look at the headline, then it is basically more on the sans serif side, but here clearly the description, it is more clean. It is more clean way, because अगर आप यहाँ पे नोटिस करोगे ना, if you will notice that the T of Trump, okay, that is bit of looping downside. ठीक है, वो हल्का सा एजी हो रहा है, so that texture has been given. I hope समझ आ रहा है. It's now more clear while making any decision कि हमारा UI कैसा होना चाहिए. Let's now proceed further. आगे बढ़ते हैं to the inclusive design and accessibility. Okay, so inclusive design and accessibility, basically it is a concept through which we will go. Actually it looks very simple, it is actually very simple. ठीक है, ये simple भी है, but actually it can make a very big impact. How you are actually thinking about your brand, about your targeted audience. Okay, so before that, what you can see here, is it visible? Is my screen is visible? कुछ दिख रहा है सबको? Yes, no, no.
It's not visible.
Okay, Gangesh. Okay, okay. No, no. Just a dark. Okay, so dark है, black है ना? So actually, for the accessibility thing, it is not a glitch, if you think so. Okay, so it is actually a very purpose-driven black I put here in this slide. So this is the problem most of the people with who are differently abled or the marginalized group, okay, face. वो उनको तब दिखता है, हो सकता है, because whenever we are designing, we are making, we are creating anything, then we don't think about everyone. Look, targeting audience is a different thing. Audience को target करना एक अलग चीज है, लेकिन उसके अलावा, okay, apart from that, thinking about and catering those community group or people is very much important. Okay, that's how the big designs, big things are being made. So this is a kind of difficulty, a common differently abled people feel. Okay, probably if I ask you to navigate into the dark room, अगर मैं आपको बोलूं कि एक बिल्कुल dark है, jet black, like the Gangeshwar said, saying just a dark, मैं बोलूं कि just room and navigate, then probably it is easy, it is still easy for you, but it is not the same thing with a person who can't see. Okay, here we are just taking the example of those means the blind people. हम यहाँ पे example ले रहे हैं, but it is not limited to the visibility only. Okay, for the different age, different group, how a simple change in design, tweaking anything can do the magic into the others life. तो अलग अलग भी हो सकता है, but again, like if I ask you to, okay, what if you also can't see, you also can't do the things for a normal people. Okay, though, so supposedly I just asked him, ठीक है, अपनी आंखें आप cover कर लो, ठीक है, I just covered his eyes, and after that I just asked him to roam around. Okay, probably still he can navigate it better. Why? Because just 5 minutes before, he know the layout, he know what table looks like, what corner or the edges or the structure of the room is. Uske paas ek map hai, he already have a map in a brain, so he know that yes, इसके बाद कुछ ऐसा दिखेगा, somewhere this kind of structure will be there, so I can turn, I can go. Okay, that's how nature look like, that's how obstacle looks like, that's exactly the shape of this bottle. Okay, but a person who is differently able will, they just have the imagination, and that's how they have shaped the product with the description available. Okay, so that's why it is sometimes very much difficult for anyone of that marginalized group uh, to navigate through the mainstream product for which we are thinking of, right? I hope जो मैं बता रहा हूँ वो आपको समझ आ रहा है. The thing which I wanted to convey is is like you are getting that. समझ आ रहा है आप लोगों को? Are you all getting it? Okay, great. Let's proceed further. So here, a very before proceeding with this description, okay, a very quick game is there. It is not a game, basically a emotional exercise. How exactly what comes into your mind? आपके दिमाग में क्या आता है? What exactly comes into your mind when you see any particular emoji or emoticon, whatever you say, right? Okay, are we ready? Let's start. So I'll show you one emoji, then probably 15 to 20 seconds. And the first word or a line or a sentence or 3 word, 4 word, whatever it comes to your mind, you can give some similar words or the similar kind of emotion also, whatever is coming to your mind. Okay, so image actually plays a very vital role in our decision making and for the emotional fluctuation. Now, let's start. 3, 2, 1. First one. The very first word. Angry, rage. Okay. Angry, angry. Last 10 seconds. 8, 9, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Ready for the next? Sad. Thinking. Disappointed. Guessing. Not satisfied. Yes. Confused. Good. Bhavna. Not good. Gangeshwar. Huh. Actually, more apt. Looking from my perspective, at least. Last 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7. Little sadness. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Next. Disappointed. Okay. Last 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Next. Happy tears. Yes. खुशी के आंसू उत्तम कह रहे हैं. Full of emotions. Yes. Emo. Okay. Expression. Okay. Last 10 seconds. 10, 9, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. और भी कोई है? Okay. Emotionally happy. Okay. Okay. Last 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Next. When RCB wins. Tasty, hungry, delicious, yummy. Slow. Okay. Yummy, delicious. Okay. Last 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Fulfilled. Okay. 1. Next. Crazy. naughty, kidding. Okay. Excited, crazy, kidding. Humorous mood, Gangeshwar is saying. Last 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah. Okay. Blessing, hug, cute. Laugh. Okay. Hug, blessing. ठीक है. Okay. Last 5 seconds. Feeling delightful. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hot, spicy, sweating. Yes. Yes. Hot. Last 10 seconds. Fed up. Okay. Feeling not well. Fry hot. Okay. 9, 8, 7. Okay. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. अब थोड़ा थोड़ा डिफिकल्ट होगा ये. वाह गंगेश्वर. हा हा हा. Laughing out loud. Crazy laugh. Funny. Like you must have noticed that similar sort of expression can be delivered with a different picture. Probably laugh, funny, those terms you have used with some different emoticon as well, and there is nothing wrong. And this is the last one. Without giving, no, that is panda. That I know. कि ये पांडा है, ये मेरे को भी पता है. Okay, हाँ, ये cute, innocent, sleepy. Okay, cutie, innocent, lazy. Okay, loving, dark circles. Okay, Anita, a great actually. Good observation. Sad. I think feeling alone. Okay, nice one. Mota baby arpit. Chalega. Anyone else? Last 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. So the main idea of showing you these images was just to make you feel that how exactly one emoji or the repetition use of any emoji give you the clarity that मैंने अगर किसी को ये भेजा है, if I'm sending this particular emoticon to someone, then probably this thing will be communicated. तो ये बात जो है क्या होगी, communicate हो जाएगी, है ना? So why this happens? Because emoticon, if I just have to look back, in my memory, I'm using or act like very much active with on internet from 2022 around. Okay, so at that time we used to go to the cyber cafe. So at that time also emoticons were there. ये वहां पे भी था, but it was not on but we didn't have these much of variations available. Okay, so because before like doing anything, so no, the basic idea of emoticon is the communication. And sometime what we do, there is a possibility, like someone said, I think feeling alone, Durga Devi said. ठीक है, दुर्गा देवी ने कहा शायद इस पांडा का जो मतलब है ये है, आई थिंक फीलिंग अलोन. सो probably if you are talking to your friend, okay, so mutually probably used to exchange some kind of emoticons, and that's how you both have evolved as a friend or as whatever the in relationship you are, that this means this, yani ki iska matlab ye hoga. For this emoticon it probably meant, I think, feeling alone. Okay, probably with two people, probably with in a group or into a circle, and that's how things evolve, that's how communication evolve. So for a person who don't write anything, or who can't write, who don't have the power of written language, or the if they don't have the writing skill available, then the only thing which they have is the sign, symbol, and the words. And suppose that if they don't have the words, then probably symbols work. So that is why like you will find in iPhone also, or in any Android phone also, that's how they are catering the other users as well. So other users, so they are taking care of designs and features. So in the basic phones you must have seen that the 5 number had a bit of edge over the button. अगर आपने बेसिक कीपैड का फोन देखा होगा, इन द कीपैड फोन, इफ दैट इज इनटू योर मेमोरी, देन यू मस्ट हैव नोटिस कि उसमें ना हल्का सा 5 में ना हल्का सा उभरा हुआ रहता था. So it 5 button is basically a bit edgy. So the idea was, if someone who is not been able to use, who can't see whatever text are written, so they can navigate the, okay, so here it is 5, so above the 5 I will be having 1, sorry, 2, then on the left hand side 1, right hand side 3, just left hand side of 5, 4, and right hand side 6, and that's how 8, 9, 10, and the mosaic like, yes. Okay, so not, so basically the idea is, in your iPhone, in your Android phone also, there is a voice assistance. Okay, the concept of vibration, the very first time it was, so we as a normal people think that the vibration as an option is for us, because that we will get to know about that phone is ringing, and still we can like nobody will get to know about that. If I am into a situation where I can't pick the phone or know about anything, that rather than putting on a silent, it's better to put it on a vibration mode, so that I will get to know about the phone but no one else will. Okay, so that was the idea. But the core origination of vibration, not only in mobile phone, the idea was like, if someone who can't listen, okay, then on those devices, those things, vibration was there. Okay, so the thing is, communication, accessibility is very much connected. So accessibility is been meant for the communication, how you can communicate, how you can feel the other person better. Okay, so let's start with the core thing, which we will focus on in next 30 minutes. Okay, and we will try to keep it as fast as possible. Okay, now what is inclusive design? So inclusive design describes the intentional design approach, means how exactly you are designing, you are taking care, design approach that represent consumers and their varied identities. Okay, so that we try to, sometime those features, those ideation, those things are very much the communication base. Sometimes we do the inclusive design as a symbolic nature for the society. Okay, so inclusive design addresses accessibility, yani ki kaun usko istemal kar sakta hai, socio-economic situation, so that it can go to the marginal, or the if the economic situation is not very much good for any particular individual, then it can go there also. Gender, geography, language, रेस, लैंग्वेज, भाषा, रेस यानी कि किस नस्ल के उससे आते हैं, जो एग्जैक्ट उसका मतलब रहेगा, कल्चर यानी कि रीति रिवाज वो कहाँ से आ रहा है, एंड लेवल ऑफ एजुकेशन या उसकी साक्षर क्षमता कितनी है, यानी कि वो कितना पढ़ा लिखा है, right? So how exactly we need to think? So while designing anything, no, sometime we as a design, we also communicate. Okay, like if you remember that the Google website, if I have shown, like if you remember that imagery, okay, then in the bottom it was written in which languages it is available. Okay, so that is one of the example of culture, like the language thing. Okay, so probably Google can make anything, like Google, agar Google bolega, ठीक है, if Google will say कि okay, I will try to keep everything in English. Okay, nowadays probably like in news and media, we have a lot of conversation. I'm not any for or against anyone, but the discourse, the conversation which we have is right now is of language. Okay, so what language where? Okay, and we expect other to speak that language. Okay, but how a good company or the good institutionally though wanted to be very much sound, how they think, like Google right now launched online, like not only Google, Microsoft, and like the Zoom, which is available here. So that is also on the real time basis, probably it is creating a transcription. Okay, so that the communication should reach to everyone. Okay, and that's how the this is the beauty of digital technology. It is connecting, enabling, and empowering others. I hope I have set the premise what we are going to study in the coming slides. Is it clear to everyone? क्या ये सबको clear है कि हम किस बारे में बात करने वाले हैं? So yes, we are talking about the design. Okay, but we are specifically right now talking about inclusive nature and adaptability of organizer, and you as a designer, as an inclusive person who can think about other aspects of the society. Like I said, if the room is jet black, आप अपनी आंखें बंद करोगे, you will close your eyes and probably you can still navigate it better. But think about that person who have not ever in their life imagined, they have just imagined, they have not seen anything, they don't have the reference. The only reference which they have is their experience. That's it. Okay, so if you will go to that extent and just do not try to put every time on your design, but somewhere you need to evolve in that way. Okay, and that's how the bigger companies are being made, bigger branding, bigger thing can be done. Okay, that the simple Google translation thing in every website, almost like in most of the website you will find that automatically. If you will log into the Chrome, and if your server is based on the Google, then automatically, like, you just need to put a, as a designer, you just need to put a feature, every text, everything will be like translated on that language. Okay, accessibility yani ki pahunch, socioeconomic yani ki monetary aspects we are talking about, gender. For the gender thing, we know that we had a lot, like long fight we had constitutionally uh, to just to recognize as an identity, as a different identity. Okay, that we faced constitutionally: geography, language, race, culture, and level of education. Okay, let's move further. Yes, so inclusive design is not afterthought. ठीक है, ये ऐसा नहीं है कि कोई एक बस ही सोच है. The true inclusive design is a holistic approach that starts at the discovery and conception of the design and continue with each further iteration. यानी कि आप किसी भी चीज को कर रहे हो तो उसको आप कैसे देख रहे हो, what's your perspective, what's your gaze towards your design, and as a responsible designer or thinker. Okay, let's just see some of the things. Okay, so how you can practice, like what are the codes, what are the practices you need to follow. First, there is nothing perfect. If you think the design which you have created Probably most of you right now are thinking as a graphic designer. Okay, but I'm not asking you to be the graphic designer. Let me just expand the canvas, your canvas of thoughts. Okay, you are a designer, not specifically graphic designer. Yes, why exactly we are discussing the graphic thing here, or the graphic, why graphic designing is comes on the very first place? Because first thing we design, we put something on paper. Okay, because we evolved from the paper, so that's why the very first thing which you will put your design is digitally on your canvas, right? So that's why probably right now you are a designer, probably in the coming years you will be a thinker. Okay, so assume nothing is perfect, make room to adapt. Okay, so do not feel that, okay, if you are thinking, or if you are like assuming ki okay theek hai, if I'm accessing this, then probably everyone can. No, it can't be the case every time. Give people a choice, always give a choice. Google knows that, okay, every time he comes he put something here. Okay, and but still it is giving me a choice. Language as a English is the practice of, you can say, it evolves in last 10 years, sorry, 15 years. In last 15 years English, it means that you are putting English, you are writing in English, but the language which you are using in Hindi. Okay, and that has been recognized, and that's how a newspaper has been like the very first newspaper who started serving in that thing is Navbharat Times. Okay, so always keep in mind, because they keep that scope open, and nowadays nobody will even judge you if you will write, you will use text of English and you are writing in Hindi. Okay, that's a very common, celebrity used to do, celebrity used to tweet. Okay, and now it is a normal thing. Okay, avoid distraction, be consistent, involve marginalized user, the user for which we were talking about, make documentation a priority, right? Okay, so now there are few examples. Here we have the example of Shopify. Okay, I just wanted to know a quick reaction from you all. What you are noticing here? Okay, let's not go into that. Otherwise, it will take a lot of time. Basically, people of different people can use Shopify. That's how in the design they communicated it. Okay, it is not a very much uh, diversity. Yes, Gangeshwar. So that's how you connect with people, that's how you do the things. Sometimes if you have to show the diversity, you just need to put, if I'm launching any campaign, okay, and there is always a conversation in India where whether this is like the first discourse, the conversation is, if we are writing anything, then it is India, then why in English? Why not Hindi, English, Tamil, sorry, Hindi, Bengali, Odia, Tamil, Telugu, Malayalam, why not in those language? Why in English? So that's a very first thing. Okay, so just to make it, but yes, it is just for the worldwide communication. That's how Shopify put these pictures on their website. Okay, here the very simple thing here is this, the UI of Uber. If they will not like specify when exactly you are going to reach by taking a ride, then it is fine. Okay, but they opted to put for the convenience, to cater the concern, to have the better approximation. Okay, so it is not limited with the designs things. Okay, it's about basically, if we talk about the inclusivity, then it means that how exactly we are thinking, we are taking our product forward. This is the best example of inclusivity. अगर कोई यहाँ पे नहीं भी रखता ना, so basically this step you must have seen in your railway platform, or the metro train, if you have experienced, or every kind of thing where a clean surface, hospitals, yes. So basically a clean surface, suddenly there is some mark, so it's a sign, people, for the people who can't see, and for the people who are actually, which we call normal, although everyone is normal. Okay, which we if I talk about myself, then if I say that yes, this is the thing, but still it gives me some in my subconscious, sometime while walking, it gives an idea. Okay, no, you are just crossing the limit. Okay, this is the maximum thing. If I'm into the metro, then I will take care of it. Suddenly it just goes into my brain. Okay, let's go with a different example here. Probably launching a taxi service would be the last thing. Okay, but here, taxi with a different range, with a different feature. This is also a key feature of how exactly you are catering or we are catering accessibility. And the best thing is safety center, share my trip. Although these features are been required in the model world with the use of technology, but still someone must have thought about it. Okay, this can be done, ye kiya ja sakta hai. Okay, a very common, very simple thing is LinkedIn. How many of you, like two people I think, said that they use LinkedIn? Then probably they are very much familiar. In the LinkedIn, if you are looking for the job, then there is an option. You just put a tag open to work, so that anyone, if they visit to your profile, if they look at your uh, your profile picture, then they will get to know, okay, you are looking for a job. If you are a company who is hiring, then you will get to know that yes, this particular company is hiring. So rather than hashtag open to work, you will find hiring, that thing. So the if you just go to the very basic layer, okay, then how exactly you are communicating your brand. Okay, so people from different ethnicity, so this picture basically compiles. So if I will use these sort of imageries in my design on my website, then probably I will communicate it that it is for everyone. Probably if I just put one Indian over here, then probably I can connect it better. Otherwise, it will look to me like it's a foreign-based website. It is not catering the Indian clients or the Indian audience, right? Okay, it's a very good example here. Just put a yes or no. How many of you know this game, tic-tac-toe? Tic-tac-toe. Just yes, no. Yep. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, more. Just 5. Okay, Durga Didi, no. Chalega. 6. Next. Or koi? Okay, Krisha. So tic-tac-toe is basically a very simple design. I think Durga Devi also know about it, but probably he is not. She's not connecting with the name. Tic-tac-toe, basically we create a rule of third kind of grid, basically 9 boxes, and we put cross circle, so two people can play together. So this is the lady Carol Shaw. He invented that design for the Atari in 1979, 78. She developed that game. So the beauty of that game is, previously people who used to design the game, no, so their game design was very much in that way, like it is very much youth oriented or something. So he got recognized for that thing because she developed that game. Okay, tic-tac-toe. Okay, in 1978. And the massive success of that game was, you can play it anywhere. You can play it digitally, you can play it on paper. Even I have a daughter, she's 5-year-old, and she's pro with tic-tac-toe, better than me. And I can play, or my daughter also play with her grandmother, because she also can play, right? So that's the beauty of tic-tac-toe and the accessibility. So what she did, she didn't need anything extra, anything fancy, anything different. She actually tried to find out the most simplest thing in the world, what's most simplest game they can be, and that was tic-tac-toe. She developed, and it was a overnight success because anyone can play that game, right? So now let's come forward. Okay. So in case studies in a Coca-Cola, so basically here campaign goal: boost customer engagement and the social sharing. Okay, so you must have seen it was done, I think 3 or 4 years back, if I'm not wrong, in India. I don't have the login details. Okay, so basically, it was done in India in the Raksha Bandhan. So the idea of is to connect with people. Okay, so rather than selling as an energy drink, they were also trying to cater two things. First thing is selling a relationship, and the kind of like if you are feeling hot, then you can do. But apart from that, because bhai behan, theek hai, and that's how the different relationship they started their packaging around it. Okay, that is also a very good example. Okay, so it works in a both way. You can it sometime also create sometime, for the established brand, the problem is they have explored the every medium. जो established brand है उसने सारे medium देख रखे हैं. They have used every like Facebook ad, Meta ad, that we call Google ad और TV ad. उन्होंने सब कुछ exploit कर लिया है. Okay, they have already thought about every other thing. So in the name of sometime inclusive design, they want some stunt, they want some story to put into the eye of people. So that's why this sort of campaign also plays or gives a boost to their sale. Okay, so here basically getting started with the accessibility design. So basically it's an institution, it's a self-declaration thing, WCAG. It is more a US based thing, but yeah, it's basically a standard. Okay, so basically it's about researching your target audience. Okay, emphasizing or like audience's experience. So what's your thing is, okay, the main use of w sorry WCAG is how exactly you are making your content, your thing available. It's a standard. It is not a compulsion rule digitally, whatever you are creating and how you are creating, what kind of standard you need to meet. It is just a common guideline that yes, you also need to think about other thing. The use of web content accessibility guidelines is basically uh, what can be the practices we can adopt from it. That's it. It's just a simple guideline. It is not a rule. There is a difference between a rule and a guideline. So it's a guideline. Okay, so here accessibility in design, a key component of inclusive design aiming to accommodate auditory, यानी कि सुनने के लिए हो सकता है, physical, which we can feel and touch, visual, which we can see, and cognitive disabilities. Okay, to cater any sort of disabilities, right? Okay, so this is again our example. Okay, so low contrast, high contrast, sometime a very minimal these things also plays a very vital role. Okay, so how exactly some font for the accessibility which has been recommended here, okay, that is Calibri, Tahoma, Times New Roman. Like in the Kahoot also, that question was there, what font was used for in the New York City for that. So that answer, like most of the people named it Tron, it was Helvetica. So here the simple layout, simple changes can do the magic. Okay, rather than in like putting the in a structure you are putting saying like to put an email and password. Here if you just like separate it a bit, clean and way, following CARP method, if you put in that way, then it will look more appealing, more engaging to the audience, right? Caption, transcription, the some of the very common, let's not go with this example, some of the very common thing if you want to know about the accessibility and the usability of the audience, then the best example I would say YouTube. Go to the YouTube and see, just upload your content and within few hours you will be able to get the transcription of it. in English language. Now what they are doing, they are providing the translation in multiple different languages. So as per your comfort, you can do that. Previously there was option that you can write according to that. Okay, you can write, you can put the transcription in your own language, but now Google Translation has been enabled with the content. Okay, so that's a power. And now Google, I think, YouTube is now coming up with the auto translation with the voice model also. So probably if I'm giving a lecture in English, will automatically, as per the choice and the selection of audience, will be transcribed in not transcript, it will be dubbed into, with my voice, my tone, it will be dubbed into Hindi. Okay, so very soon we are going to have that. Although right now also that feature is there, but it is for the dubbed thing. Okay, so suppose that if I have a video, I can upload another thing uh, with the dubbing of Hindi, Malayalam, Telugu, whatever the language I wanted to, just to cater the US market, I can put in that language. So that was the power of it. I hope you are getting it, like how accessibility uh, works, and with the example of YouTube. Yes or no? Yes, no, maybe. Anyone? Okay. Okay. Thank you, Bhumika. Okay. Clear and concise language in accessibility. Plain language. How does it, for example, here. Okay. So very like, see how exactly the design thing has been working. So CARP model is there. One imagery which actually describes the things in a very direct way. The contrast is there. Okay, repetition. Okay, we don't have the repetition here, but we have the repetition of color here. Okay, not alignment wise, it is just we have the leading light, we have the contrast, and there is more to imagine when you listen. Okay, the tagline we have. Okay, so how to do it? Write a short sentence with a simple word. Let's not go with that. Okay, we have a different assignments that we give. So let's discuss today's assignment. Okay, the last thing which I wanted, just be there. I hope all of you have understood the composition rule of composition. Yes. Okay, so today's assignment is it's a small assignment. uh, so here basically you need to capture 20 photographs and apply these 5 rules. That's it. Okay, there are few things which I'll suggest. What you can do is you can use a mobile phone if you have the camera, whatever you have. For the competition, you no need anything expensive. It's just for the practice and build you, and just to have a better aesthetical approach towards any image, any graphic. So this exercise is there. You just you what you can do is you can open the grid. If you will go to your mobile phone and if you will type sorry, and if you will look for the grid, no, just open the grid, you will get that rule of third wala grid. Okay, it will help you to balance the image, and you can think it better that how exactly you can navigate to where your character you are placing. Your brother, your sister, your mother, your father, anyone you can treat as a prop. If you have a pet, then go for that, or just go out in the morning or evening or at park and explore what you are observing, or just click multiple things and then try to sort it out on table. Okay, I'm not one of those who will say ki be precise, think about what you are clicking, although it is important. Okay, or just do one thing before taking any picture, no, just give a 5-second pause and think. Just have that one word, have the one word into your mind, like why exactly you are clicking it. Okay, so once you have a better target, automatically the picture are going to be great. I hope every one of you got the assignment, what exactly you need to do. Okay, so take any of the approach, whatever as per your convenience. So your approach can be going crazy, click thousand of pictures and select the 20 which you will submit. Also, now I am going through with each and every assignment, so probably you are going to get a feedback also out on that basis. Okay, so be alert, be on toes, and try to do each and everything so that equally and equally we can proceed further. We are on the same page, right? Okay, so that's my time. Thank you so much, everyone, for your time, and let's connect in the next session. Shahid, you can take over.
Yeah, thank you, Mishra, for the wonderful session. And thank you, participants, for joining today. We have shared you the feedback link in the chat box. So please give your valuable feedback as it is more important for us and valuable for us too. And also tomorrow at 6 to 7 p.m. we are hosting a AMA session, Ask Me Anything session. So if you have any doubts or queries or any other issues regarding the canvas or anything, you can join that session. Our team will help you and solve that issue. So right now, please give the valuable feedback. It is posted in the chat box. Yeah, Gangeshwar, if you have given the feedback, you can leave the session. And also others, I request everyone to give your valuable feedback as it will be more helpful and valuable for us to improve the sessions and give you a better session next time. Okay, thank you everyone.